This is In the Loop. I'm Christian Bryant. You might have heard the phrase Instagram eats first, meaning you snap photos for the gram before you dig in. Social media has had a big influence on food trends and what we eat. A study funded by the US Department of Agriculture found that social media actually helps young adults choose healthier foods. One survey of over 1,200 young people ages 14 to 24 found that more than half were familiar with the term clean eating from social media, other online sources, or their peers. The hashtag #EatClean has more than 61 million posts on Instagram. But how exactly did this trend become so popular? And what does it really mean to eat clean? The answers to those questions reveal a lot about what we eat and the impact it has on our health. The meaning of the term eat clean kind of depends on who you ask. Generally, it means eating foods that are as close to their natural state as possible by avoiding processed foods and added preservatives. Diets have been a trend for several decades. Counting calories dates back to the 1910s, and Weight Watchers, which is still around today, emerged in the 60s. The Atkins diet and other low-carb diets became popular in the 90s and early 2000s. Our modern idea of clean eating can be traced back to popular books that were released, like The Eat Clean Diet in 2007 and Clean that came out in 2009. These books promoted more than a diet. They promoted a lifestyle, the idea that eating these foods was a more holistic way of living. Over the last decade, more people started cutting a lot of things out of their diets. Sondra Kronberg is a licensed clinical nutritionist and certified eating disorder specialist who's seen a lot of diet trends evolve over the years, and she's seen the impact social media has had on diet trends today.
There's enormous pressure to eat right, to look right, to fit into this culture. It never used to be like that. I mean, there was a cluster of people who, thought eating was so important and what you ate. But now everything, the chemicals, where it comes from, the pollution, I mean, there's a lot of value on what food you eat.
Between 2009 and 2014, the number of Americans who stopped eating gluten, even though they didn't have celiac disease, more than tripled. The lead researcher on that study thinks one reason for this is because being gluten-free became trendy for health-conscious people. We also saw more people step away from dairy and substitute regular milk for almond or oat milk. Sales for those other regular milk substitutes grew by more than 60% between 2012 and 2018. During the pandemic, we saw a surge in plant-based diets. In 2021, the plant-based food market value rose to an all-time high of more than $7 billion, growing by more than 50% in 3 years. Experts say part of this could have been because of COVID-19. Some people may have wanted to eat healthier to improve their immune response. Harvard researchers found that plant-based diets could decrease the risk of getting a severe case of the virus. On social media, more influencers promoting their plant-based lifestyles have emerged.
Hello there, y'all all right?
People like Tabitha Brown, or Tab, since she makes us all feel like we're family, blew up on TikTok during the pandemic with her tasty-looking, vegan-inspired foods. She now has more than 4 million followers on Instagram and TikTok and has a cookbook coming out. There are also celebrities like Gwyneth Paltrow, actor and founder of the wellness brand Goop, who are known for talking about clean and vegan eating and encourage others to give it a try. And athletes like Brooklyn Nets player Kyrie Irving claims his plant-based diet has made him a better player. It's an easy option for celebrities and influencers, and you'll likely see these trends show up on the plates of higher income people too. That's because healthy foods are expensive. Consumer Reports says organic foods cost about 40% more than non-organic foods. In the past several years, natural and organic foods have made the jump from special health food stores to more traditional grocery stores. But that only does so much for food deserts, neighborhoods that lack access to grocery stores to begin with. And some nutritionists warn that the idea of clean eating can create or worsen stigmas attached to certain foods that aren't especially bad for you. Like anything that's not clean eating can become I don't know, dirty. But some nutritionists say that's not necessarily true, and healthy eating is subjective. And you should figure out what works for you with the help of a licensed professional rather than turning to social media for advice.
Trainers working out in the gym are giving out nutritional advice. And, you know, the guy who makes the smoothie is giving out nutritional advice. Everybody thinks they know something from their own experience, and I will give them credit for having their own experience, but that is your own experience.
Although 71% of young adults surveyed define clean eating as healthy, it has the potential to become dangerous. When people are on strict diets, they can develop an eating disorder known as orthorexia. It can cause people to start avoiding certain events and eating with friends out of fear that they won't be able to find the right food.
So if somebody is older, they're dieting, and they're trying to manipulate their body and size and weight in a Stillman's way, let's say. And the younger generation are eating all clean and pure and healthy, and the salmon from Alaska. So based on what's going on in the culture, that becomes part of the eating disorder. You can eat as whole and as fresh and as raw as possible, but sometimes you have to be able to eat something that's not, whatever that is, you know, fried truffle fries or something, you know.
One study found that among young adults, the higher use of Instagram is associated with developing orthorexia. So while social media has the power to introduce people to healthier eating options, it can also do the exact opposite. Organizations like the National Association of Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders are available and free to call if you or anyone you know needs help with an eating disorder. You can call 1-888-375-7767. As more people continue to change their diets because of social media's influence, how will we move beyond the current trends?
I think it's going to take a while, but I do think, just like other movements that are occurring now where people are saying, we don't all have to be the same. And in fact, we're not all the same. And so we don't want to eat, we all need to come to our own inner way of taking care of ourselves.